The offense, I think, is not to the A level of the Ben Johnson class. We're not to Ben Johnson 401 here.
Are we grading on a curve?
I don't know if it's a curve necessarily, but I don't. Or are you grading it versus the rest of the NFL?
Yeah, I think we are grading on that curve. It's like, where are you compared to everybody else that you're going up against?
Unfortunately, I think the Ben Johnson offense still gets an A in Detroit. So there's that part of it, even though we now know Dan Campbell's likely calling the plays. I don't think the Bears are to that level, but I would say it's good. I would consider it like a B plus, I think they can be an A by the end of the year.
Wow, you are generous. A B plus for the Bears offense.
Oh, if you think that's generous, wait till I talk.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Caleb Williams, 2,136 yards. I know quarterback is a separate thing. DeAndre Swift with 544 on the ground. That's not counting his receiving yards. Rome Odunze, your leading receiver, at 559 yards. Kyle Monangai is RB2, as we know. He's emerged as an RB2, which is why I can't give him an A yet, as a whole. He's got 390 yards to his name. But to establish the running back as a rookie the way they have, I think is really encouraging. DJ Moore is your number 2 yards-wise receiver at 403. Colston Loveland is third, by the way, at 289. That's where this gets spicy. It's not necessarily your 1 and 2, which you might think. It's the 3. Caleb Williams is also the Bears' third leading rusher at 246 yards. So based on some of these stats that I think matter, others of them perhaps not as much, based on the fact that the Bears, compared to the rest of the league, do bear high marks when it comes to being in the top 10 at least, if not the top 5 at times in yards per game. Rushing specifically is what I think about in that metric. All I wanted to do was see the Bears run the ball more, no matter who the head coach was. That's a sign of a healthy offense, in my opinion. So given that, B plus for sure for me. Like right now in rushing yards per game, the Bears are number 2 in the NFL. 147.3. So yeah, for me, B plus for sure. Scoring is still a challenge, but overall, I think given what we've seen, if we're doing this relative to the rest of the NFL, you're not an A, but you're pretty much almost.
Well, I think they are an A minus. I think I'm a little loftier.
The Bears don't have anywhere to go from here, huh? So
A minus.
It depends on what culture you grew up in. In some cultures, A minus is an F.
Yeah, A minus. The minus in A minus.
Speaking as somebody who has a Persian dad, A plus, it's A plus or bust.
I think that's the culture my parents wanted, but they gave up on me in that regard very early on.
So, Grote, I understand your concern because you hear the letter A. You're like,
No.
Are we at the top of our game?
Well,
is that what we're doing?
Well, it makes me think, like, hearing from Leila and then hearing from you, they don't got that much far to go. They're that close to an A, and they're complete.
Yeah, but they're not like an A plus,
Oh, man. Okay, I'm listening.
Let me explain. Let's break it down.
You can win some games this way.
Marky Mark is listening.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's why it's an A minus for me.
Okay.
Their offense has been good. Period. It's been a good offense, regardless of the competition it's gone against. Leila brought up the fact that they are number 2 in rushing yards per game, which is indeed a sign of a healthy offense. More importantly, they have the third highest yards per game in total offense at 379.8 yards per contest through 9 games. That is good. In points, they are less. They are top 7. They are number 7 in the NFL in offense. They are putting up, if I just gave you blind stats, those stats, and I said, by the way, 9 games into the season, the Bears will be the second best rushing offense in the league, the third best total offense in the league, and the 7th highest scoring offense in the league, you would probably sign up for that. Is that fair?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just on numbers alone, not seeing the games. Yeah,
sure. Let me take it one step further, though. What is Ben Johnson's favorite stat when it comes to offense?
Completion percentage. Points. Oh, yeah. EP, yeah.
EPA. So the expected, right? They are 9th in the league in that category at 0.08. And not far off from the number 7 and number 8 teams who just happen to be the Rams and the Patriots. You would say they have good offenses. In fact, if we look at all the offenses above them, those are all good offenses. It's the Cowboys at 6, the Packers at 5, who have come down a little bit. They were higher on this list. The Lions at 4, the Bills at 3, the Chiefs at 2, and the Colts number 1, and that makes sense based on what you've seen from the Colts. Here's why it's an A-, because It is a highly functioning offense that moves up and down the field. They get the minus because they haven't been as consistent as they need to be in two areas, penalties and the red zone. If not for penalties, they would be a higher scoring offense. If not for their red zone, I don't want to say insufficiency, but let's say inconsistency, they would be higher. But as far as a functioning offense, every week I know Ben Johnson's going to score points. He's going to score points. And that's why I give them an A-.
Yeah, I think when I'm astounded by the grades that you're giving, what I'm thinking about is the season as a whole. And I am taking into account the struggles, like taking that very seriously, the struggles in the red zone. The penalties that you talk about, some of the weeks that we were sitting here ripping on Theo Benedette and saying, what do they have here in a left tackle? The Bears' inability at times to get 1 yard. I think I can count 3 times this year where they needed, including back-to-back plays where they couldn't get a 3rd and 1 and get a 4th and 1. So
quarterback sneak. They can't quarterback sneak.
They can't quarterback sneak.
Part of my B.
Okay. And I mean, this last game, all the drops, I add that in there. I do add the inconsistent play of the quarterback, who has had some really terrific moments, who is better than he was last year, but is at a 61% completion percentage at this point. There has been too much inconsistency up until the last 2 weeks. Where's Colston Loveland? Where's Cole Kmet still? Why is there a game where DJ Moore has 0 catches? Why is there a game where Roma Dunze has 0 catches? So there's still too many inconsistencies in specific areas of the offense that I can't give them an A or even a proper B. I'm giving the offense a B minus.
Colson,
okay.
Cole Kmet
Oh, you thought I was going to give him like a C or something?
I was like,
Yeah.
no, I was ready to jump on you. at that point.
I just like it's getting better. So I'm adding that in, but there's been too many times where we've come in here and been agonizing over the inconsistencies of the Bears' offense, even though the numbers all look very flashy now, and it's getting better.
Well,
and I agree with you guys about Ben Johnson, but as a whole, if we're really great, if I am taking into account every single game up until this point, I don't see how it's not a B- or lower.
Our segment on Rahimi, Harris and Grote, giving out the Bears midterm grades, brought to you by almostfreeteeth.com. Save on dental implants today. You mentioned Cole Kmet, by the way.
Yeah.
That is a compelling point to your point, is that he has 147 yards receiving and only 11 receptions. Now, keep in mind, the year before he signed that contract, he was the Bears' leading receiver that year.
They've upgraded
Now,
in pass
unfortunately, it was only with 700 some odd yards at the time. But point being, we're just used to saying his name more.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think the reason I push back against the B-
Sure.
is because you have them basically one stop away from saying they're an average offense. In no way is this an average offense. I cannot sign up for that. I will not abide by that. They are well above average. And when you say B-, that is just slightly above average because C is average.
I also gave I gave a B+ because I can't say it's an A when you haven't played your toughest part of the schedule yet.
We're going to learn a lot about the Bears in the next 4 weeks.
Grading what has actually transpired, not future casting, forecasting.
Well, that's why I don't take like scoring offense into account as much, relative to the rest of the league. That's not something. But I do take into account like you were able to run the ball like you wanted. You were able to obtain the objectives more so than we thought previously. Now, are there issues, like left tackle, for example, or I don't know what you're doing with Ozzy Trapillo, who you drafted 2nd overall? Yeah. Are you trying to figure out how to distribute the ball?
Thanks, Emma.
Now it is time to evaluate the defense.
All right, look, I'll start us off. I'm giving the defense a C-. That's where I'm at. And the only reason
because you got to see more.
I definitely, that's the beginning of it. They have been objectively bad as far as giving up yards, giving up points. They are near the bottom in the NFL. The only saving grace that gets them the C- as opposed to a D or maybe even F consideration is they just keep taking the ball away.
F.
They just keep taking the ball away. That's what they do. They have not gotten to the quarterback enough. They have not stopped the run enough. But you know what? As long as they're taking the ball away from the other team, they're going to be an average or just below average at C- team.
I'm writing this down. All right, so defense, Marshall grades a C-. Marshall graded the Bears offense an A-. I gave a B+. Grote gave a B-. So for
Bears.
defense, Mark Grote.
Mark
How
Grote.
do you grade these Bears?
How will ye grade these Bears? I shall give the Bears defense a. I'm in the C range. Do I want to go minus? Do I want to go plus? I'm gonna go.
Come over here with me.
I'm gonna go.
What if you
wanna
just
see
go flat C?
I'm gonna go. Okay, I will go flat C. And the reason I'm not gonna go lower is because you can't just breeze past the turnovers. I mean, the amount of turnovers that they were getting was skillful, and they won games because of it.
Absolutely.
So I cannot just do the drive-by like Marshall just did on those turnovers. Now, they have been really porous in just about every other area for sure.
The last 2 games were not a good time before the grade.
Not a good time.
Like, if you had done this before the Bengals and the game, Sunday, I
don't
feel
know
like
that
it might
that's
be
true.
different. I mean, then there's that Lions game with the 52er. I don't know.
Look, when Tyrone Tracy is starting to get off for the Giants after stuffing him, I think the Bears defense is sort of they're good early. Like, they were good on that very first drive the other day. I think 2 or 3, 2 tackles for loss and a sack, and then you still got the rest of the game to go. So there's a lot. And here's the thing, I meant to bring this up to you guys before we started the show. How much are we taking into account the actual injuries that the Bears have? And I know that's a big bore to do because people care about what they're seeing, and if what they're seeing sucks. But they're missing Jalen Johnson. They are missing Kyler Gordon. Have been missing Kyler Gordon. They have not had T.J. Edwards this year. Let's just face it. Like full on healthy T.J. Edwards
You know who
this
they
year.
did have?
So C+. No, C.
They had Dio
you can
Dingbo.
go,
It
you
didn't
can
make a
go C+.
difference.
Did I just talk myself
I
into a C+?
actually think Dio made a difference in the run game based on Sunday against the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's why he got paid.
And
but-
why Marshall
Wait.
just skims right past
Hold on.
C.D. Gardner-Johnson, too. I
Hold
don't
on.
get it.
I will give an O to CD.
Thank you.
Wait, so C plus
CD
or
plus.
C?
CD
Wait,
plus.
C plus for you or C?
I think I talked myself into a C plus. It's
All
a
right,
fluid
C
situation.
plus.
It's a fluid situation.
Not me, C flat.
C flat.
C flat for the
Nice.
Bears defense. And the only reason you're passing is because of the combination of what I think are pretty cool blitzes with your secondary.
Okay.
Because it can't rush 4 and get home, and that annoys me. But I love the unhinged blitzes. I need more of those in my life. I need secondary members to be happy that they're threatening a sack. I don't know what's going on there, but I love that energy. It makes me happy. Anytime you can just mess with somebody by looking at them funny, I'm into it. It means you've rattled their cage. That's the whole job of the defense. So passing for me because of that. Unfortunately, your sack leader is Montez Sweat with 5.5, and that's good that he matched his total from last year.
And he's
except
getting
his
better.
total from last year wasn't great. It's not enough. It's not enough. You're paying these guys too much money. People got to get home more. So based on that alone, unfortunately, the grade gets knocked down for me. And frankly, because the last 2 games, they really have struggled to get stops. Struggled to get stops. I understand a lot of that is due to injury, and I am willing to make good with that. Maybe the end of season grade is better. But unfortunately, through these first 9 games, you haven't gotten enough stops when you need them. The takeaway can't be the way you get the stops, even though it has been. Better to be lucky than good sometimes, and that does require skill. So all of that said, for me, C flat. What I would like to see more of course, in the upcoming part of the year, more stops. 3 and out should be a goal. If you need a stop, you get the stop. They did at the right time this past game. And then additionally, more unhinged blitzes, please. Take people's anger and turn it into art. And when you do that, it seems like good things happen. And frankly, I just like the idea of messing with other teams' players. Just by being like, hi, here's 9 men in the box. Oh no, never mind, we're running backward. Oh, did you just throw an interception? Sorry. I love that. So
none of us are really that far off from each other.
I just want to point out as I go back to the minus on the C as opposed to what you guys put on the back of your C, nothing, and then of course the plus. For their opponents, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Lions, the Raiders, they've given up the most points that opponent has scored, or the second most points. I just want to point that out.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. Relative to how everybody else is treating those teams.
Would you like to go D plus now? Would you? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
C-
It's a
minus
fluid
is perfect
situation.
because I'm not overlooking. I'm not brushing by the takeaways. That's why they are 6-3, is because they have been a very opportunistic team.
So, by the way, when I was growing up, like, D was not passing. That wasn't an option until college, and I was like, well, that's not happening. I'm not getting a D.
Oh, no, D is like the last stop before you fail. You can get by with a D.
Well, no, in my school, if you were making below a 70, that was failing.
Instant reaction. Grote from the text line. Marshall didn't, quote, breeze by the turnovers. He properly took them into consideration, and it affected his grade. So Grote has the Bears defense, another texter, the defense as the same grade as the offense. What the actual F?
Actually, that's a great point.
Why?
That is a great point.
Why is that a great point? Explain.
Because-
I'm like listening.
Because one is better than
one
other.
is awful by all the metrics. Every single metric you look at, except for takeaways, the defense is awful.
Nuance.
The offense is top 10 in everything.
It's all nuance. It's all
Well,
like specific occurrences from the games.
Grote's
It's
playing
all,
complimentary football.
I'm playing
No,
complimentary
I think
football.
I mean, I get why you're grading the way you are, but this person makes a good point.
a salient point.
All
Yeah.
right, okay.
All right. Special
All right.
teams. D minus. You're barely passing. And the only reason you're barely passing is the one time I needed Tory Taylor to get a boomer of a punt, he did it. That's it. I don't know what y'all are doing. You got 2 kickers on the team, which makes no sense. Neither one of them can kick 60 yards. I don't know what the hell's going on
What
with
is
you
she
guys.
doing up there?
I will
Ma!
see your Tory Taylor and also say D
Tory
minus.
Taylor's bailing out my special
But
teams right
Tory
now.
Taylor's not who's bailing it out for me. D minus, and the reason you got a D minus and not an F is because Josh Blackwell, or Blockwell as Grote calls him, exists.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, he did block one.
Yes.
So, okay, there it
To
is.
win a game.
D for diploma, because I don't know what the hell y'all are doing right now.
I hate to do this. I really do.
Oh, what are
but
you
I
doing?
agree with you guys. It's a D minus situation. They did win a game with a field goal. There have been moments. The whole Jake Moody thing was kind of fun and a positive experience for the
Kind of
most
fun.
part. Just little Jake Moody just following around Cairo Santos around the locker room. It's fun to watch. So unfortunately, I do, or do I go C plus?
What?
How do you go
kidding.
from
I'm
D minus to
kidding.
C plus?
D minus. The special teams has been bad this
I
year.
will
There's-
bust my ass, and they will too.
I hear you,
All right,
Richard.
to get it cleaned
You're-
up.
I hear you. I
you're
know you will,
passing-
Richard. I
you're
know you
passing
will.
because
It's unacceptable.
you know what? I don't even take into account what happened on Sunday because I don't question anybody on Sunday, not even the kickoff game, because the win was so absolutely atrocious and miserable. I do think there is nuance when it comes to what you can and can't do at Soldier Field. I understand that, which is where I'm like D, because the last game you had before that, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed and mad.
Let's talk about that.
Every Wednesday, we call it Wet Ball Wednesday.
Football Wednesday.
Inappropriate.
It's always going down, man.
Work on your kickoffs.
What do you
Get
mean?
somebody to kick a ball past 60 damn yards.
Wet Ball Wednesday is Saturday night, baby.
I'm ready to talk about the head coach now.
All right. Okay. C's or D's across the board for us special teams. Defense is a C. The Bears are going to come after us. They're going to be like, what are these grades?
Well, they're honest grades.
And then my request is unhinged blitzes out of the defensive coordinator.
Unhinged blitzes.
Like, not regular
big.
blitzes. I need people to be unhinged in the blitz.
I like that we're aligned on special teams. I'm curious to see how aligned we are when it comes to the head coach. I'll go first. A minus for Ben Johnson. First year head coach putting together a 6-3 team through 9 games with, and this is the best part about it, they haven't even reached their potential yet, but they handled business as they needed to, and clearly everyone in that room believes in him, and that's maybe the most important thing for a first-year head coach. Do they actually believe in you? They seem to believe in him and are playing as such. A minus for Ben Johnson.
We're giving grades for the Bears at the midterm, a.k.a. 9 games out of 17. So we can't do math on Rahimi, Harris, and Grote on 670 The Score. And by we, I mean me.
Well, who you got? What do you got for the coach, Leila?
A flat.
Wow.
I think there's
flat, okay.
A flat because I think there are some things that he wants to do that unfortunately he can't do yet. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's not capable.
Personnel.
But you have to understand your personnel. And frankly, you should have run the ball more on Sunday. You should have. So A flat,
I'm
like
gonna-
94.
I'm going to give him a B plus, and I think that's a very good grade. And what I like about what I've I think like if I had to narrow down the one thing that I've liked the best specifically that Ben Johnson has done this year is to talk big about improving the running game, which had sucked, and telling us that the personnel they have is okay, and all of us are like, I'm not really
Is it
sure
though?
about that. And then to fix the running game and to show us that, yes, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai are the right guys to be getting the bulk of the carries for the Bears. And I've even put Roshan away. You know what I mean? Like, I was team Roshan, and Caleb as well. But I understand now what he has got with those two guys. So that's the biggest piece of credit that I give him and the template that he set back in training camp. But remember when we were making a huge deal out of, justifiably, the stopping of the plays and the essentially pulling his starters off and the yelling. Remember all of us? Oh, my God, the yelling that was going on. And some of that I was a little skeptical of, okay, just because the coach is yelling. But clearly he was putting down some real things during that. Some boundaries during that. Do things completely the opposite of the way things were done here last year. So I am giving him a B+. And I can't just sit here and say, like, the offense is a C+ and then give him an A at this point. So the offense is getting there, but it's not where I want it to be.
The fact that I can trust the man late in a game to figure out a way to win a ball game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
Hold me.
We've got to get to our Gold Star Bears. Our Bears who deserve a bear from Mark Grote. So I think we have time to pull this off in the time we have left in this segment. Grote, you're the one who rewards bears, so I think we got to start with you. Who's your bear player?
I'm going to give Roma Dunze a bear for his year so far because he came in this preseason talking big, and he does have 37 catches for 559 yards, by far the most potent receiver for the Bears. And I know he had the drop, and I know he had the game the week before where he had 0 catches, but I like the way this player is developing because as a number 9 overall pick in the draft as he was last year, he deserves to be put under the microscope, and so far he's 15.1 yards per catch, a long of 37 this year. Roma Dunze gets a bear.
It feels like he's emerging.
Yeah, it's a good word for it.
It feels like he's emerging. Now, for me, Leila, I know this. It feels like I'm banging on this drum, maybe a dead horse, but I think the horse is very much alive and kicking. Hail State, give me Montez Sweat, who has come to the forefront in a year in which we understood he needed to live up to the billing. I think he has slowly come up to sea level. He was below water, but now he's got 4 straight games with at least 1 sack. He has made plays in big moments, and he has become a steady force on a defense that lacks steadiness because so many guys have dropped like flies. This guy has been there, and he has been a rock on a defense that has found a way to do enough to get this team to 6 wins.
My Gold Star Bear is DeAndre Swift. When he goes, the rest of the offense goes. He's got 754 total yards from the line of scrimmage, which I think is not only impressive, it is true to his skill set. He does have a touchdown receiving. DeAndre Swift, of course, has 4 touchdowns rushing. And when they want to get the offense going, when they want to establish that rhythm, I think it starts with DeAndre Swift. Now, did Kyle Monangai do a great job when Swift was out? Yes, but for all that we talked about with DeAndre Swift and his production and what that was going to look like on the ground, they have made excellent use out of DeAndre Swift. So he's my Gold Star Bear.
He is on pace for a 1,000-yard season, which is good. I would like to see maybe more touchdowns, but maybe we'll see that in the coming weeks.
I don't know if we're going to see that.
I think the touchdowns go to the tight ends.
And the Monangai is going to get those attempts too.
What about Roma Dunze? He had a nice touchdown.
Absolutely. Like more, I'm all for more touchdown throws by Caleb Williams because that's truly the way now and in the future.
So who wants to go first at quarterback? I think it's got to be the guy who covers the Bears when he's not here.
Wow. Okay.
Mark Grote. Bear
Grote is giving Caleb Williams a B- for his work so far this year with the Chicago Bears. And you look at even the last 2 games and some of the heroics that he's pulled off. That's part of the elevation, quite frankly, of the grades. The fourth quarter he had against the Giants, the crazy, wacky Cincinnati game where he has 3 touchdowns, and the Dallas game. And I know that I'm taking into account, we have to take into account defense for a lot of these teams. The Dallas game was the model for me. 19 of 28, 298, and 4 TDs. There are just too many games, though. The New Orleans game, 15 of 26, 172 yards. The first game of the season against Minnesota, he was not keeping up with J.J. McCarthy towards the end of that game. And I know that feels like such a long time ago. too much inconsistency in the first 3 quarters of the game. And I've been saying that is something you can fix, but it's not fixed yet. It's not there yet. He is not yet a complete 4-quarter quarterback, and I don't think I'm being too greedy to want that. B- for Caleb Williams.
You know what? I don't argue with what you've said.
Oh
my
God.
grade is slightly different, but it's within reach. It's one step higher. It's a B straight up.
Okay.
B flat for Caleb Williams. I think you make some great points, but also I will say this. The reason why it's a B, knowing that he has not gotten to the level where we think he can be, and that is a consistent elite quarterback who shows up quarters 1 through 4. The biggest thing is he has been clutch in the fourth quarter. He has been that guy in the fourth quarter. And when you take into account for Caleb Williams and everybody else that 70% of NFL games are within 1 score in the fourth quarter, that's why the fourth quarter does matter more. It is the final stanza. And I think he has taken a huge step forward already in this season, leading the Bears to a 4-1 record in 1-score games. I think that speaks volumes about not only his future with the team, but really his present and what they're able to accomplish this season working with Ben Johnson in tandem with a special set of weapons and an offensive line that not only is tasked with keeping him upright, but now giving him opportunities to know when and when not to take off.
Well, I thought about percentages here out of 100, and you know what I came up with?
70?
83.
Oh.
Yeah. 83. Indeed.
That's a B, ladies and gentlemen.
That is a B. Also, not quite lower, not to the point of like 82, 81, or 80, not a B minus, but I give a B, and it's for similar reasons. I think, number one, yes, you avoid sacks. Okay, that puts you in the top relative half of the league in doing so. Now, did you do it at a much better clip than last year? Yeah. But this is based on the past 9 games, as we've talked about. And while I think it's great that he is running out of these sacks in the way he is, and he's trying to get that, I think, priority list in order mentally when you're trying to process each play, there are other things that I think we haven't seen enough of yet. Number one, over the middle throws in the pocket. That is my main, I think, criteria now when it comes to how I look at Caleb Williams. Like, can you do, unfortunately, what we saw Jackson Dart do pretty well in the pocket on Sunday? And I know Caleb Williams is 2 inches shorter than Jackson Dart, but that affects how you're seeing over the middle. So how are you seeing over the middle? I think you go from an A to an A plus when you're the guy who knows how to find the open receiver when you have the first down open on your legs, and then maybe Rome is downfield holding up his hand. Then you go to an A plus. But for me, it's just, what are you doing basic better? Can you climb the pocket? Can you make throws now in structure? I'm really happy that sacks are now being avoided. And I think he still wants to avoid throwing interceptions. That seems to be how he's making decisions. And ultimately, that is a plus as well. I want to see more downfield throws. I can't give you an A, even though the flea flicker, for example, was over 60 yards in the air. I know he's got the arm talent to do it, but why don't we see more of them? Why don't we see more just plain old go routes? So that's something where either it's head coach, it's offensive coaching, or perhaps it's on the quarterback. And I actually think that finding your tight end is part of what we've seen Caleb Williams not do enough of. That's consistent with what happened last year.
Yeah.
So the encouragement in either play design or coaching to be able to do more of that, I think will speak to the progress there as well. And again, I feel like a lot of this comes from in the pocket. One of the things he is doing really well is adjusting under center. I feel like that deserves a lot of credit as well. So I think that is probably, aside from sacks, his greatest improvement metric that I can tell you.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. That's where I'm kind of putting my whole thought process together with quarterback.
I think it's interesting that when you look at our grades overall, Grote, of course, is the guy who's doing crazy stuff, talking about the defense deserves a C+.
I'm a strict grader.
Well, yeah, and the B- was a little crazy as well. But Leila, you and I have been within one level of each other in every single one of these metrics.
We spend too much time together, I think. That's what happens when you hang out for 5 hours a day. Yeah. And our group thread is always popping off when we're not together.
Fair.
Yeah. So to recap, here are our grades. On offense, Marshall gave an A-. I gave a B+, and Mark Grote gave a B-. For defense, Marshall gave a C-. Grote ended up giving a C plus, and I gave a flat C because I love unhinged blitzes.
A bouncy C.
Yeah, I need more unhinged blitzes out of the secondary. Special team, because I love them. Special teams, everybody gave a D. I'm surprised somebody wanted an F plus, and I don't know that that's a grade, but I think it should be. Head coach Marshall gave an A minus. I gave an A flat. Mark Grote gave a B plus. And then our Bear player, Mark Grote was Roma Dunze. Marshall was Montez Sweat, and I was DeAndre Swift. And then for quarterback, B's across the board. Mark Grote with a B minus.